Hello once again, Star Wars and Unboxing fans. Welcome to another episode of Darth Tuba's Star Wars Unboxing Show. I'm your host, Darth Tuba. Today we're kicking it old school again, folks. We got two items. We have the Kit Fisto Jedi Starfighter Target exclusive, which is a 2006, so a 12-year-old model. And then we have the Luke Skywalker and Echo Base Bacta tank. And this is Power of the Jedi, so this is going back quite a ways. This is 2001. So, why am I doing this? People ask me that. Why are you unboxing? Why do you, these are going to be worth something. No, they're not. Alright, an item is only worth, to quote Steve Sansweet, greatest Star Wars collector ever, and Guinness Book of World Record holder. The only thing an item is worth is what you're willing to pay. Okay? I did not pay extra money for this. I bought it in the store, and like anybody else who bought it that was a non-collector, they probably took it out and played with it. So I want to take it out because I like the Jedi Starfighter. I like that they came in different color schemes. So that's what I'm going to do. And of course the Bacta tank Luke, I just feel like this thing is just such a cool item, okay, that it's meant to be taken out, okay? In fact, I've seen people like go into toy shows and find dozens of these out of the box in piles and use them to make up like different kind of things. Like I think some people have actually taken the Bacta chamber and have made like a pseudo diorama of a clone tank, for the clone. So there's all sorts of things you can do with this, but I just want to get it out of the box. So I think we'll start with this one. Put this baby over to the side here. Okay, because this is pretty straight out. Okay, we have our, right now. I'm so sorry for the people that are, crying and going, oh no, how could you do that? Folks, it's a toy, it's a collectible item that is meant to be played with or displayed. It does not have to be something that is crazy, sought after in a pristine way, okay? But nonetheless, it's still a really cool item, so I want to take a look at it. I mean, I will say that the box art, okay, was pretty cool. Okay, you actually could see the water behind it. But why would they just put that there? Well, because you actually can, if you wish to, you can fill this chamber with water and blow air into the tube to simulate Luke doing his breathing. I'm not sure at this point if I'm going to do that or not. If I do, I'll put it at the end of the video. This looks like that does look to be a kind of a piece of plastic in here that I'm going to get rid of. And the rest of it, he's just kind of hung in there. There is some plastic in there. Again, the toys are not meant to be, held up. I don't know if this will work. Well, there is some air tube in there, so that should work. And then you have the little computer station that can just be placed right in this little disc area right there. And that can be where one of the medical droids kind of take a look, see what's going on, check his vitals. So pretty cool. Pretty cool feature, pretty cool effect. You can also spin it different ways and set it up. Not so sure I need to have a Luke Skywalker in a diaper, but there you go. Here he is, and let's face it, they have done their very best to be the completest that they can. I do believe that. Let's put it this way: in the movie Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, at least, I can't speak for the prequels or the new sequel movies, but in the original 3 movies, because it was such a long stretch of time before new movies were made, and because Hasbro and /Kenner had the license, you could there's probably the greatest ratio of figures that had screen time that or characters that had screen time that are now figures than any other movie in existence ever. The closest that might come to that is maybe Wizard of Oz, because they've released a lot of different characters from that in one capacity or another. But in a standard size figure, like say an action figure size, there have been no other movies that have even come close. And some people like to make fun of that, and they like to think that's silly. Well, you know what I have to say to that is, what is more silly? Collecting a plastic representation of a very split-second character from a movie, or collecting 500 or more of the same character, like, I don't know, Batman, with different color uniforms, different utility belts, everything else, things that existed in comics, things that existed on TV, in movies, or that just existed in some toy maker's imagination. to me, if you're gonna be okay with one and not the other, you're kind of a hypocrite. So let collectors be collectors. I like this. It's a nice piece. It's probably gonna go right behind me. I'll find a little space on the shelf. All right, so there we go there. And then we move on to the Jedi Starfighters. This is similar in color to, it's so funny how there is always a color scheme with certain Jedi. And I guess since Kit Fisto has a green texture, for those who don't know, he's the one with the kind of aquatic one. He has the tentacles and he smiles a lot. You know, he's the one smiling during the Battle of Geonosis. The funny thing is that when it comes to a picture of his ship, it looks like the only thing they have here is a cartoon. It's hard to make out, but they have a cartoon right here of the ship. It looks like it might even be from the Genndy Tartakovsky Clone Wars series. Very much awesome, very short, like micro series. But awesome if you can find it on either YouTube or they did release a DVD of it. All right, so getting this out, and it's the standard Jedi Starfighter that is very similar to all of the other Starfighters that came out. It does come with an instruction. It doesn't look like there's much to it. It has like the same stuff. It has the pieces that, you know, it has your standard missiles. It has the kind of blow away pieces that there we go. They come off the sides. Something that never really happened in the movies, but still cool nonetheless. A cool play feature. All right, and it does come. That does not come with a Kit Fisto figurine. Honestly, I have to look to see if I even have one out of the box. I think I do. I'll have to look. If I do, I will get it and put it in there for pictures. But I have to look around for it first. I know that they came out with a. I believe they came out with a Attack of the Clones Kit Fisto, a Revenge of the Sith Kit Fisto, and a Clone Wars Kit Fisto. So I'm pretty sure that among the three, I do have one somewhere. So I'll see if I can get it. Of course, there's always the question of whether it fits in the cockpit or not. Something that these Jedi Starfighter toys have been. There's been a bit of a they've been criticized for not necessarily holding the being able to hold the figures. Which, when you think about it, if it's Kit Fisto's Starfighter, well, it kind of should hold Kit Fisto, don't you think? I think it should. You know, call me old-fashioned, but I think a figure should be able to fit in it. Now this is interesting because, like, by this way, it kind of has a remnants. I mean, you look at it like this. All right, it kind of has a remnants, like it's like a precursor to the TIE Fighter. All right, I think that's kind of where they were partially going with it. So we can see how that works. Now, as far as putting these in, you know what? I should do what they suggest, and that is look at the directions. And the direction. Oh, it looks like it looks like they have labels. But the thing is, folks, it comes with a cool catalog. So that's neat. But I'm looking around, and wait a minute. I see him. All right. Well, I'm not going to spend the time doing the labels on video. Instead, I will do a fast build, so you guys can so we can talk about it. And during my fast build, I'll see if I can find that Kit Fisto figure. All right. So we'll be right back. Okay, we're back. A couple of little things to mention. Being that this was an older set, okay, by the way, I did find a Kit Fisto. That's a story for a few moments. But in putting this together, the labels, I want to talk a little bit about the labels. I have noticed that on more recent vehicle and playset releases that there have been less and less labels being sold. And I think that is probably for a couple of reasons. Number one, I think that nowadays with printing technology, you know, this one did come out, you know, 10 years ago, and there's a lot of improvement that can happen in 10 years in toy packaging and toy design. And one of them, I think, is that a lot of the printing could happen directly on, either screen printed directly on the plastic, or, there could be some other way, a wrap of some sort. This could be some way of doing it. I approve that, because the other reason I think that this was, that we're seeing less and less labels, is that I think it makes it more of an akin to model making. Nothing against model making, but when you buy a toy, I don't believe that you are buying the toy for the same reasons and passions that you would be buying a model. A model maker wants to build and construct a vehicle, or of any, either to replicate something from a movie, or just a classic car, or warship, or plane, or something of that nature. And they're actually building skills up to do this. So creating labels that have to be, if anybody's done any model making in the past, labels often would come off by way of water, and you'd have to pull it off of this gluey paper and then rest it with tweezers onto the model. That is fine. I get that. I understand it. I support that. But when it comes to toys, generally speaking, in a traditional sense, you've got a child opening up a toy, wants to play with the toy. Yay, Daddy, there's labels. Can you put the labels on? And poor Dad, who maybe isn't a Star Wars fan or a fan of putting labels on toys in any case, is very frustrated because some of the toys, particularly those some of the labels in the cockpit, are a little bit dainty and hard to get. So this one, if I were to give it a grade as to difficulty, I'd probably say if an A is the hardest, or I should say, let's put it this way, an F is the hardest because it makes it mean the most frustrated, and an A, it makes it the easiest. I'd probably give this a B. Most of the labels went on pretty easy. There were a couple of hard ones, not too bad. But so the vehicle itself, it has a really cool play feature that I feel it was not used in the movie, but I almost wish it would be, and that would be this. You've kind of seen it happen by accident. Now I'll do it on purpose. So it's like this is peaceful mode, and if we're going to go into attack mode, you press this button underneath, and then you get with this kind of vehicle, which is a little bit more kind of sleek, and again, has more of a TIE Fighter-esque look to it. So I'm all about that, and of course it has some missiles in there. I won't launch them, but you can press them in the back, and the missiles will get launched. Excuse me. The reason I'm coughing so much is that, for those who don't know, the Star Wars collection that I have is located, as many people's Star Wars collections are located, and that is in the basement. And generally speaking, I keep my basement pretty straight and pretty clean, but there are a lot of shelves, as you can imagine, and a lot of loose figures everywhere. I do not take them out with a dust broom and dust them every week. In fact, I don't do it hardly at all. So when a time comes when I'm, say, for example, looking for a Kit Fisto figure, kind of looking for the proverbial needle in a haystack, I'm going through a lot of haystacks, kicking up a lot of dust, trying to do that. So I would say try to keep your collection clean. I will say, one very plus advantage to having box collections, it's a lot easier to take a lightly damp cloth and clean off the boxes very, very lightly than it is to sit with each figure and try to clean them off. But nonetheless, I was able to find a Kit Fisto. This is actually, I think, this might be a battle pack Kit Fisto, but that's now the true test. Can Kit Fisto fit in Kit Fisto's spider? I'm going to take a saber off, slide him in. Alright, this version of Kit Fisto, I will have to say, is a negative. It does not. So, bum bum bum, wah, 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 to Hasbro. However, this did come out in 2006, and one thing that happened in 2006 was the creation of the Clone Wars series, and it's very possible that the Clone Wars action figure cartoon one, which was a little bit closer to, this is when they started doing just a 5-point articulation like the original. It's possible that one of those Kit Fistos can fit in here. Nonetheless, it is still a cool ship. Other figures can fit in here. I will see if I can get a Kit Fisto in here. Right now, the answer is no. Don't try it with one of them. I mean, all of the tentacles and his hard plastic robes and tunic make it a challenge. If you can find one that's a little smoother, like the Clone Wars version, you're probably better off. Okay, but I know these are old. I noticed that my older toy unboxings don't get the views that the more newer sideshow, Hot Toys, high-end collectibles. They are coming back. I can't do them every week, but I will get to more of them as the year moves on. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to check out all my other videos. Like, subscribe, share, hit the notification button. Pass the word around about people who might want to be interested in the show. I have Instagram and Darth Tuba Twitter accounts, and Darth Tuba Star Wars Unboxing page on Facebook. And you can email me, darthtuba77@gmail.com, or leave a comment in any video if you have any questions. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, may the Force be with you.